Happy Mind is a legal tryptamine. It's very similar to psilocybin, but of course, psilocybin is only legal in certain parts of the country, very, very limited currently. But this particular tryptamine was discovered in 1957 by Albert Hofmann, the same guy that discovered LSD.
What if the conversations we've been taught to avoid about sex, desire, and our bodies are actually the ones that set us free? Welcome to Sex Ritual Radio. I'm your host, Rose Heartsong. This is the show where sexuality, spirituality, and vital health meet, and where we explore the conversations most people consider oh so taboo. Each week, I sit down with fascinating voices exploring intimacy, relationships, healing, and human potential. Let's dive in. Hello, Laguna Beach, and everybody out there in this beautiful world that we get to live in. This is Rose Heartsong, and you are listening to Sex Ritual Radio here on KXFM, Laguna's community radio on 104.7. Had way too much fun with this guest. Recently, we met at a sex toy convention called ANME that was held up in Burbank a couple weeks ago. And he has a really interesting product that I am so excited to dive into because I bet you so much money that you've never heard of this before. It's a unique experience, and it can actually activate and inspire your sex life. So I am so excited to have my guest on today. This is Josh Whitacre, and we are going to be talking about his company called Happy Mind and xTabs. And I'll let him kind of dive into more, obviously, through the whole episode of what that looks like. But I will say that I tried these at ANME, and it made the days together with Josh, because we giggled and laughed and were absolutely ridiculously silly, much more adventurous also. So welcome, Josh. Thanks for being here on Sex Ritual Radio. It's an honor to have you.
Thank you so much for having me. Yes, we had such a great time at the show.
So much giggles, ridiculous amounts of giggles. You get to live a life where you get to hang out and do business and take something called Happy Mind and giggle for a job. And it's happy, and you just fit in with your own brand. Just so y'all know, if you have, you're going to have to go look at the website, but the brand name for Happy Mind is just yellow, poppy, happiness, and smiles. And that's how Josh is. You're yellow, poppy, and happiness and smiles. Maybe not the yellow part.
That's right. Everything with the yellow part, yes.
Amazing. Josh, for those who are desperate to know what Happy Mind is, what is Happy Mind and what are we talking about? By the way, I was pretty high, so there is a high element to it, but it's legal, which is freaking awesome. So what is Happy Mind and xTabs, so those who are listening have an understanding?
Yes. So Happy Mind is a legal tryptamine. It's very similar to psilocybin, but of course, psilocybin is only legal in certain parts of the country, very, very limited currently. But this particular tryptamine was discovered in 1957 by Albert Hofmann, the same guy that discovered LSD, but it is extremely difficult to make and to create products with, and tastes horrible. So really, no one's made any products with it yet, to our knowledge. There are a lot of other legal tryptamines out there that are a lot easier to make, a lot cheaper, and that tastes better. But this one produces the best high. And according to someone who has distributed a lot of these other competitors' products, it creates the best high. And more importantly, or at least for me, it creates a better experience for people that are just wanting it for regular everyday users, everyday use, health and wellness, biohacking, ADD, ADHD, stress killer, all of those things, right? This is more, in my mind, in my world, it's a health and wellness product versus, hey, I just want to go get high. You did get high because you're such a small person, I think. But we know now you just need half of a pill instead of a whole one, I guess, to
I actually got super high because I have a really clean liver. I'm really into being and holistic wellness and everything. And when I started doing liver cleanses, I realized
Oh,
that
that's right.
with mushrooms, I get way higher and much faster. So the cleaner your liver is, the more impact you have on mushrooms. And talking about that, one of the things that I think I like about this is it's a really good alternative to alcohol, which alcohol is, it's a mood depressant and it pulls you down and it doesn't make you happy. And I love that you have something that's legal, because some people get tripped up on the illegal factor of mushrooms, especially considering it's completely impossible for a lot of people to actually access them.
Yeah.
Then mushrooms don't really taste that great either.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. From an alcohol substitute point of view, I'll just tell you the story of why this was created.
Perfect.
We can never say to use this in place of alcohol, or that it cures alcoholism, or that it helps people who are alcohol. We can never say that online, because we would get killed by banks and social media and just everyone. But however, I'll tell you the story of why it was created. So my business partner, by the way, I create brands for a living. That's my job. People at one time, before I just started doing this internally, people would pay me to help them create a brand. They would have an idea for a product and I would see it to fruition: legal, accounting, brand creation, logo, naming, all that kind of stuff. Right. So I had a good team and we've done this probably 60 plus times. So anyway, with Happy Mind, my business partner, he brought this product to me in the form of a chocolate bar and said, "Hey, I would like for you to," it didn't have a name at the time, "I would like for you to give this out to all of your customers," because I had a distribution company, and friends and family, and give me some feedback. And I did that, and it was such an amazing hit that I decided to invest in this brand before it was a brand. I decided to invest in this chocolate bar without a branding, and said, no, I'm not taking your money to create a brand. I want to invest in this company and I want to create this brand with you." And so that's what it did. And the way he created it was, one day he discovered his wife was an alcoholic, and he sends her to rehab, and she comes out and 24 hours later has to go back. She comes out 48 hours, relapses again. It's 30-day stints of rehab that just fail completely. And he started going online, and he feels like he's got 3 kids. He's about to lose his wife. He's about to lose his family. He's like, I'll try anything. So he goes online and starts researching what type of like Eastern philosophies, or what Eastern medicine, what type of other things out there that help with alcoholism. And he discovered that there's a ton of PubMed articles on studies of psilocybin helping with addiction. And so he's like, okay, I'm going to start getting some magic mushrooms in here. So he starts getting mushrooms delivered to him. I'll leave out the part about what state it was being shipped from and the state that it was at. But let's just say he was getting some mushrooms delivered, and it literally cured her over the weekend. She was taking mushrooms, just eating them raw. And obviously that doesn't taste good, but she's eating them, and it literally cures her over the weekend. And he's like, okay, this is freaking amazing, but this is illegal. So how can I make, is there something else that I can make that is very similar to this? And he does have a background in a company that is able to create things like this: THC, CBD, CBG, HHC, all these different molecules that are able to be created and or whatever. And he takes it to his chief scientist, and he says, "I think I can make it. I don't know. I think it's going to take a lot of work, maybe 6 to 7 months. It's going to cost a lot of money, and I think I can do it." So he says, "That's worth it." So sure enough, 7 months later, and a little over $500,000, and this product was created. And it is truly amazing. It has helped a lot of people, not just his wife, but there are so many people that the issue is you just don't want to drink. It's so strange. When we launched this product in Las Vegas at a trade show, and we have, I don't remember how many, 15 plus people sitting around the bar. And I look up and we're all laughing our asses off, and no one's drinking their drink. My drink, all of our drinks were just watered down, and everybody just thought we were drunk. And we all had one drink. It was like we got to the bar and everybody's taking the Happy Mind, and 1 or 2 drinks in, and we all act drunk, but none of us are drunk because we're not drinking. And for some reason, it's like it does something in your head. And I don't want to get philosophical or anything, but it seems like it's doing something to your brain that says, don't put this harmful substance in my body. It's strange, but it makes you not want to drink. And I love it. So when you say it as an alcohol substitute, I wholeheartedly agree with you. It's such a wonderful substitute for people that don't want to go out, waste a crap load of money, and feel like crap the next day.
It's really interesting if you think about it, that we live in a world in which it is so societally normal to drink alcohol. Like it's almost discomforting for our society to drink alcohol. And yet there has been so many studies with alcohol being an absolutely horrific disruptor on the body. It impacts depression, it causes cancer, it causes all sorts of cancer, right? It causing people get in car accidents because of it. There is no health benefit to alcohol at all in any way, shape, or form. And yet it's insane. It's crazy that that's our societal thing. That since I don't drink anymore, I used to drink, but since I don't drink anymore, I actually get really sad just witnessing the amount of alcohol consumption that are socially normal in our society. And I know that there's a lot of studies being done recently on a drug or a psychedelic called ibogaine or iboga.
Yeah.
And it's not legal in the United States of America. It's very common and popular down in Baja, in Mexico. And I've actually had a family member go and get this treatment for alcoholism and narcotic addiction. And it does work. But the thing about it is it's expensive and it's really, really intense. It is a freaking life intense experience, right? I love the idea that there's something that is more gentle and available to help the body take care of itself and wellness and so forth. And the other thing I know you have the tryptamine in there, but I love that you also have other herbs and biohacking mushrooms and herbs in these. Like I'm happy
lion's mane and turkey tail.
Yeah, lion's mane and turkey tail. And I'm obsessed with both. I actually put them in my coffee on a regular basis.
Yeah.
And I definitely have helped. I got a brain scan actually about 6 months ago. And I found out that I've been taking lion's mane in my coffee I actually use something called MCT oil as well, or brain octane oil, which is good for the brain as well. Like I'm very devoted to brain health. That's something that's like really important and high value for me in my life. Anyways, I got a brain scan about 6 months ago, and I was so excited because I haven't shared this actually out on the world. My brain is biologically is chronologically, I don't know if I'm using the right word, but my brain is 10 years younger than who I am.
That's awesome.
I got the brain scan when I was 36, and my brain was the health age of a 26-year-old. And so
that's amazing.
In my experience, like I don't have any factual evidence on studies, but I do have a brain scan that is really advanced. It tells me the health of my brain. And I believe that a huge part of that has to do with my continued consumption of lion's mane and MCT oil on a regular basis. I've been doing that since about 2014, I want to say. And so that's a long period of time, right? It's not like overnight that I'm doing this. So it's a habit and a pattern that we get to do. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
I can just.
Okay, cool. Anyways, so that being said, I really love that you bring in other elements of
cognitive enhancers.
Yes, exactly. And then the turkey tail is really good for your immune system. It boosts your immune system. And the thing, going back to alcohol, I am hating on alcohol, just so y'all know. Just when I bring in the facts here. If you drink alcohol on a regular basis, I am telling you, you need to stop. I'm not gonna lie and pretend. It disconnects you from intimacy. It causes depression. Anxiety goes up the roof.
Yeah.
I was just looking it up. There's a 91% chance of getting cancer higher with one alcoholic drink. That's insane.
Yeah, that's insane. That's crazy.
We gotta stop. And when you stop drinking on a regular basis, because I used to drink, especially during COVID. I was living in Mexico by myself and I was drinking some
Oh, wow.
Coronas. I'll tell you right now. So I'm not saying that I haven't had my own consumption. And since I've committed to not drinking, my energy levels are higher. My mental health is 1,000 times better. I don't have any anxiety whatsoever. So if you're listening and you have anxiety, I really want to invite you to look at your relationship with alcohol and see if it's something that you consume on a regular basis. Mess up your gut health. I'm just gonna go on an anti-alcohol thing. But it really, at the root of it, is it really impacts intimacy. And we live in a society in which it is so incredibly socially normal to have a couple drinks in order to feel comfortable to have sex.
Yeah, that's true.
And yet I have this amazing opportunity called a sex coach. And so in the label of a sex coach, everybody shares with me their most intimate things, whether I want them to or not. And one of the primary things is that I will say is that alcohol really, really impacts your libido and impacts your ability to experience massive amounts of pleasure in the body. It impacts so many different aspects. And so I want to talk about your xtabs because those are specifically designed to support with that. And we met at a sex toy convention, right? Where we met in a sex positive space, which I really love. I think it's so interesting that your products are specifically, I know when we were hanging out, you were saying that you primarily focus just on sex toy expos and that's your kind of primary thing, even though you don't sell a sex toy.
Yeah, exactly. So we originally launched in the smoke shop space because that's the space that I'm familiar with. That's the space that I've been selling into for many years as a distributor. But when I launched Happy Mind, just a few months in, someone that was in this space took the product and loved it, loved sex. Now I'm talking about Happy Mind specifically first, and then I'll tell you how xTabs was created. But she took Happy Mind and had the best sex of their lives and said, "Oh my gosh, I'm recommending this to be the best new, what did she call it? Best new sexual enhancement product." And I, when I was told this, I was like, "But we're not a sexual enhancement product. We're Happy Mind. We just make your mind better." And the consensus is that it allows women to get out of their heads and get into the moment and just be themselves and be okay and no anxiety and there's no stress there and you just enjoy the moment. It doesn't, you can't just sprinkle it in a girl's drink, by the way, for listeners. You can't just sprinkle this in a girl's drink and she becomes horny. That's not the way it works. It's just, if you're already
That's not okay.
Not what we're doing here.
We're always consensual around her.
Yes. But anyway, if you're already in the mood and you're already doing it, then it just makes it better. That is all. The way xTabs was created was because when Happy Mind was there and we got this recommendation, we said, what else can we do? What else can we add in here? We've got lion's mane and turkey tail to help with cognitive enhancement on Happy Mind. What are these other herbs, these other amazing things that we can put in and create a sexual wellness product? And there's tons of stuff for guys. There's so many products besides Viagra and Cialis and all these. There's tons of stuff out there for men. But from what I was told at the time, there's nothing for women that actually works that doesn't have bad side effects, like most people claim as headaches. And that's because I feel that it's just men making these products. It's men making products for men, and then we'll make something for women too. And there's not anything going into that. It's like that's why they have problems. So our scientist was like, what else does wonderful things, and did a bunch of research and then create a product. And I probably made 500 samples maybe and just gave them out to freaking everybody, the bartenders, wait staff, people I meet at the bank. I would give them, anybody would take it. And we just got tremendous feedback. And so that's how xTabs was created.
So the difference between Happy Mind primarily and xTabs is what the additives are on top of the.
Yeah, exactly.
And so for that one, I love that you have herbs that activate the libido. For the women ones, you have the ashwagandha. You have both. Actually, I noticed the only difference between the men and the women ones is there's one ingredient. What is it? Let me look.
This stuff's above my pay grade, so I'll have to look myself.
It's Mirab. Mira, it's Nuera Llama. That's the one for the men, which I've never
Yes.
heard before. And it's the potency wood in the Amazon, and it amps up arousal and responsiveness by enhancing nerve sensitivity and circulation, which I love because I'm obsessed with the nervous system and how the nervous system impacts erotic pleasure. And so if there's something that's feeding the nervous system and supporting that, that is incredible. And then all the other ingredients are the same in the woman's one. There's horny goat weed, there is maca root, there's saffron, and there's ashwagandha. Like ashwagandha, I take ashwagandha and maca on a regular basis, and I don't do saffron on a regular basis. I have taken it, and horny goat weed I don't do on a regular basis, but they are all really amazing herbs that help to boost the libido and also help their, like, I love the ashwagandha. By the way, ashwagandha has the most studies of almost any herb possible in India. I don't know if you know
Oh,
this,
wow.
but
I didn't.
they have done so much research on ashwagandha in India because it is such a good stress reliever. It's one of the best stress relievers. And if you're stressed, I always jokingly say, for men, if you're in your head, your boner's dead. And for women, if you're in your head, your orgasm's dead. Right.
Yes. Yes,
And
that's great.
yeah. So the truth is, you said this about women too, and men, right? Like there's other products for men as well, but they could potentially have bad side effects, right? And men, if you get in your head, your boner's dead too, right? It's not going to work, or men can come too soon and they're not present in their body. Both humans do it, right?
Yep.
All of the above. It's not just women. So I really want to preface that because that's something I teach a lot of men about getting into their bodies.
If you're in your head, your orgasm is dead.
Isn't that great? It's a good.
Can I quote you on that? Is that
Yes,
if
please.
you have that trademark? I don't know.
Or if you're in your head, we have proof that I came up with it for.
Oh,
We
my
are
God.
recording.
That's right.
And if you're in your head, your boner's dead. I like it.
Yeah.
Which is so true. It's so incredibly true. Anyways, I love that you have these natural products that don't have any side effects that get you in your body, really. Because when
Yep.
you're in your
Absolutely.
body, you have more pleasure. And when you're
Yes.
not chasing the orgasm, because most people watch porn, and then with watching porn, they have a story in their head of what sex is supposed to look like. And then they're constantly chasing that sexual experience, and it's the story and program in their brains. So I'm just curious. Maybe I might play around with it with some of my clients, because I've had certain clients that are have an addiction to porn, and in the addiction to porn, it wires your nervous system to pleasure in a very specific way. It's seeing a screen. There's no nervous system interaction. They're touching themselves, probably not very intentionally, right? There's probably not lube involved. There's probably not slowness involved. It's just a quick hit. And so it programs the nervous system to impact pleasure in a certain way. And I will say, as a sex coach, I'm having 19-year-old kids and 25-year-old guys come to me having issues with having boners because they can't have sex because they're addiction to porn.
Wow. Oh, wow.
Yeah. And then I don't know if you know this, but we are having a sexual dry spell for the first time in all of history in the younger
I've heard this.
generation.
Yep.
Yeah.
I've heard this.
So more young people are having less sex than people
Yep.
in their 50s and 60s, which is insane. And I think that this product could be really helpful and supportive to help get the body into the body. Obviously, if you're watching porn on a regular basis, stop. If it's addiction, right? Or watch things that are actually real, not performance based, but it does impact your own intimacy with another person. And so people hate the sexual positive space, and the toy space is not going to be stoked about me saying that, but really I'm an intimacy coach, if I'm going to be real, and I want people to have really good sex. Are you allowed to tell any really cool stories about people having breakthroughs around sex? You told that one woman that's how it started, right? But I'm sure you've heard in the space, you've heard some crazy stories, I bet.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I think I've constantly been told that I could never orgasm with my man, but now I can. Or I had one person that took, lots of people say tryptamine and xTabs together. And I've heard multiple times, this is the best sex I've ever had in my life. And we're talking about, these are 40 somethings, right? Those come from my friends, of course, who all take a Happy Mind and or xTabs. Pretty much all of us do. But so most people don't want to share those stories, right? But at least I get them from my friends. So I know if I'm getting them from my friends, there's a lot of stuff out there that we're not hearing. Yeah, it's great. It is awesome to be. Most of the reviews I get are around ADD. I've got people telling us they've gotten off of Adderall completely. I've got one woman who was basically in tears, and she's like, I feel so bad for telling you this, but I feel closer to my kids. And I said, what do you mean? She's like, I hate the weekends. I have my kids that are just running around and screaming and yelling, and I just despise the weekends. But like when I take Happy Mind, I am enjoying my time with them. I'm relaxed. I'm not stressed out. I don't have anxiety, and I'm just enjoying that. And I feel so bad for even telling you this, John. Yeah, those are most of the reviews that we get on Happy Mind.
We live in a stressful world right now, right?
Yeah.
I did a workshop on Saturday, intimacy workshop. And one of the things I did for the workshop was to research on the nervous system. It was a nervous system education. And I don't know if you know this, but for the listeners, I don't know if you know this, we have two different aspects of our nervous system. They're to the primal elements of survival. One of them is our fight or flight, or our sympathetic nervous system, and the other is our parasympathetic nervous system, our rest and relax. And I always say we take our fight or flight nervous system to the gym all day, every single day. And we as a society have put the rest and relaxed nervous system as weak, not productive, not something we should be focusing on. And that's creating a huge issue in balance right now, right? And because of that, they say that the average teenager has the same amount of anxiety than somebody did in the 1950s in a mental hospital. The amount of stress that is happening in our nervous systems on a regular basis, because we're in fight or flight, we have these like external things that are making us feel like we're getting attacked by a cougar or bear. They're pretty simple, but we do them all the time. I'm constantly working on it within myself, but it's our cell phone, email, text messages, social media, the way the algorithm works to focus on competitive and competition and friction, right? Because it creates more energy. Blue light, this one's a huge one to the nervous system. Because what happens is, and for our bodies, is the sun goes down, and that's a blue light, right? And at night, until a couple hundred years ago, all we had was fire, and fire is a red light. And so what happens is our body's not creating melatonin, and melatonin is a hormone that helps us go into rest and rest and have nourishing sleep. And we're glued to our cell phone, which have blue light. We go to sleep, we glued to them again as soon as we wake up, and we're in this constant chronic addiction to fight or flight. And the interesting part about that is that you cannot get physically aroused in your genitals with blood flow if your body is in fight or flight. And so that is, I believe, one of the massive reasons why younger generations aren't having sex, because the average teenager has the same amount of anxiety as somebody in the mental hospital.
Absolutely.
And then it's almost like a buzzword. Oh, I have anxiety. I have anxiety. I have anxiety. I'm like, cool. What do you want to do about it? Right.
Right.
So Happy Mind is something that based on results, right? We're not telling you what to do. And also, I know that you have to be 21 or older to have Happy Mind as well.
18.
Oh, you have to be 18. Okay.
Yes.
Oh, really? That's awesome.
Technically, we don't have to be anything because we are illegal, but it's our attorneys told us that it needs to be at least 18. At first, they're like, just to be safe, let's make it 21. But then they're like, it doesn't really matter. Just put 18. So we didn't change it from 21 to 18.
I think your website still has 21.
Oh, does it? Oh, that's good to know.
Yeah.
It's that. That's right. In the term. Yes.
Yeah, under the ingredients. Yeah.
Yes. Good job. Good call.
But that's cool because there's a lot of 18 to 21-year-olds that don't have any access. They're adults, but they don't have any access to alcohol or marijuana in states that it's legal for that. So this is an alternative in that way too, which is really cool. because we get to practice as our society. Okay, if you want to have peace and not be anxious all the time and want to actually enjoy life, you get to take the rest and relax to the spirit to the gym, right? And that
Mhm.
involves time in nature, not being on red blue light at night, meditation, breath work, yoga, exercise. What else? Pleasure as a practice. I teach people to practice pleasure, not just masturbate onto porn, but actually feel your body, breathe, slow down, dance, get connected to your vessel. And that's a constant practice for me. So I really am excited that xTabs and Happy Mind is a solution. Okay. So for question, I have a question for you. If somebody comes to you and goes, okay, which one do I take? Because you were saying Happy Mind, people
Mhm.
do both. If they just want to order one or consume one product, what do
Yep.
you recommend as the introduction?
Sure, sure. So if you were just looking for to make the sex better, then let's
Mm-hmm.
just make it easy. Just go and buy an xTabs, try it out. You're gonna love it, and then that's really it, right? I think that's the best and easiest way. We have, as far as Happy Mind goes, it's for it. Okay, actually, there are two different variations of Happy Mind. There is, for those of you that are listening and not watching, I'm showing two pictures. One is Hero Dose and one is Microdose. These are tablets. The Hero Dose is as it sounds. You're going to have a party. You're wanting to, you're at a rave, you're at a concert. Even if you did one of those things, I would still suggest just doing half a tablet. Half of the Hero Dose is enough for most people. The sounds and the colors are all going to be a little bit better. You're going to laugh your ass off for about 3 to 4 hours, and then it's just going to go away. And that's it. And then go to bed, wake up feeling great the next day. The microdose, which is what I am so excited about, it's 4 tablets, and you take one to just everyday health and wellness. Your stress is gone in 30 minutes. There's no anxiety. You're not going to feel this. You're not going to feel high. Most people won't. Yes.
Yeah.
Some people on this call may. But
Sorry. Yeah. Sorry. Why would I say sorry? That's
yeah, you're not sorry. You don't need to be sorry at all. Um, exactly. We do score them so that you can break them in half easily, just in case you are a very small human, like our host here, and you just want to start with having one tablet. That's great. But from a sexual wellness piece, it's important to understand what you're taking, how you're taking it to experience what you want to feel, right? Just one of these little microdose tablets is all you need. And so I would not suggest someone buying a hero dose, taking a hero dose, and then going to have sex on it. That's not what the hero dose is for, right? That's not at all. That is literally you're going to a rave, right? But if you're using this for sexual health and wellness or just being an everyday better person, then yeah, you're just getting a microdose and you're just taking one pill like every other day. And of course, this information is on the website, of course, obviously, but yeah, it's my suggestion is taking Happy Mind because most people need these types of things. They need help with these types of things, just everyday life and stressors and that kind of thing. More importantly than just sex.
I love that. And so, okay, this is the question I'm sure everyone's asking because we're very well trained in our society to not drink and drive.
Mm.
Right. And so, what are the regulations around, like, if you were to do it here, there's regulations about safety for that
Sure.
experience regarding driving specifically, but just is there
Definitely.
any side effects or dangers or certain health conditions somebody shouldn't have? What are that?
Yes, yes. Obviously, if our attorney was here, he would say you shouldn't take anything and drive, right? I don't care if it's one single drink of alcohol or one single microdose. You should never drink, right? A hero dose, irrespective of our attorney, you definitely should not drive on that. Absolutely not. My suggestion is anything more than a microdose, you should not be driving on at all. Any type of impairment. The thing with the microdose is that should not impair you at all. People are taking microdose every other day, or maybe it's Monday through Thursday to get through work. Most people do not actually feel high from it. Right? Once you find that magic dose, maybe it is half a pill, right? But you're taking that to work better and to focus and We had one woman tell me a couple of weeks ago that said, I cleaned my entire fridge and I've been meaning to do that for a month and a half. And she did the microdose and just like felt like she wanted to clean her refrigerator out. So it just makes you just get locked in and just get stuff done. Right. And so
I love getting stuff done. It's a good thing to do. It's all supposed to be in the flow with it. I think part of it, something I struggle with, and I know you gave me a couple of doses, so I might do some microdose today.
Mhm.
And sometimes I have resistance to doing what I know that I should be doing, right? I think we call that in our society procrastination.
Yes.
Which is a word for. And it's so funny too, because the other night, I was resisting designing. I was transferring my website from one technology to another technology. And I knew I would just sit down and do it, right? That's all I needed to do. But I had resisted doing it for probably 3 weeks or 2 weeks. And then I sat down and stayed up till 3 a.m. and I just finished it and I was in the flow. But it's the sitting down and the focusing that's hard. So what I'm hearing is with Happy Mind, it helps you, because you're talking about ADHD, it helps you get into focus and flow state with what you're creating. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry, but I should have gotten a whole month's supply from you. Ordered them for sure.
We are definitely all over LA area. That's for sure. We're in, I don't even know which stores, but yeah, we're in a ton of stores over there. But yeah, you can order online. We should.
Awesome. I love that. Incredible. And I actually have the hero's dose that you gave me that I have not consumed yet, that I am planning on taking to a concert.
Nice.
We talked about it. Nice. So, but yeah, I love that so much. I love that it's legal. So that it's legal. There's very few things out there that are at this caliber that are legal, sadly. Even cannabis is not federally legal, right? There's certain states that it's illegal. And the interesting thing is I used to be a pretty heavy cannabis consumer. I'm not anymore. So I always jokingly say I'm California sober, whereas like all I will consume is mushrooms. That's it. But I've been finding myself not wanting those as well. I feel like I was pretty happy in general because I have a pretty healthy practice of life, right? Yeah. That being said, I'm definitely in a energetic rut right now when it comes to productivity. So I'm excited that we brought that up because I didn't even think about that. So yeah. So okay, cool. You have on your website, you have the 1 month supply, you have the hero's dose, you have the Neurotone. What's the difference between like the Neurotone and the cognitive flow?
Sure. So the 1 month supply, aka cognitive flow, that is someone that is taking it every other day or maybe Monday through Thursday and then taking off over the weekend or something like that. That is what the majority of people will purchase that are addicted to Adderall or they're addicted to some other substance that they want to get off of, right? It's or maybe, like I said in the beginning, the biohacking community, people that are just wanting to lock in and just get stuff done, just get in your flow state, they will buy a month's supply. The reason why we came out with the 4 count, the $12 4 count is it's more like a trial pack because you're not having to spend $40 on a month's supply of something that you don't even know if it'll work. Now, we know it'll work. We know that, but you don't. The customer doesn't. So therefore, you can spend $12 and give it a try. And then once you see it works, then you'll come back and buy the month's supply. And so that is the primary, and that was what we started with. We started with that month supply. And that's what I'm so excited about for sure. The reason why we came out with the Neurotone, that is the equivalent to half of one of those cognitive flows. So
that's what I should take.
That's what you should take. Exactly. So instead of you having to break it in half, we have 20 of those little tablets in one of those little tins. And what I created that for specifically, because if you're buying a month supply and then maybe you need a little more, like maybe it's a really rough day because it typically only lasts 4 or 5 hours. But if it's 3 o'clock and something bad is happening and all of a sudden now you're all stressed out, you don't have to take another day's worth. You can just take you can get a Neurotone, just take a little bit, right? And that'll get you through another 3 to 4 hours. That's the reason why that was created. I will tell you, my two amazing customer service / social media girls love the Neurotones more than anything. They are very small humans. They are skinny and height challenged. And so that's all they take. They just take the Neurotones. They don't even go up to the microdose. They're half of a microdose. So that's what we created that one for.
So, is there any bad side effects or any health issues that somebody should avoid to take these, or can anyone take? I know you're
Good question.
Yeah.
All we have to go off of is all of the studies that are on PubMed, so many studies on psilocybin and all of those things. And what we have learned is from both our scientists and our attorneys is that it has the same effects and contraindications as psilocybin, as magic mushrooms. So what we've learned is if there's a study that says, oh, psilocybin does not work well with people who are taking SSRIs, like antidepressant medication. And we have learned the exact same thing. The only two bad reviews that we ever get, number one is it's way too strong. How much did you take? Oh, I took 2 hero doses. Look, why'd you take 2? Read the instructions. Why'd you take so much? Obviously it's too much. So yeah, don't do that. And then the other side is it didn't work for me. Great. If it didn't work for you, it couldn't be one of these two things. Number one, you didn't take enough, obviously. Number two, you was on a full stomach. Number three, maybe you're a very large person. You're a 300-pound man. You're going to take a very different amount than a 98-pound woman. There's a big difference there. Or again, back to the SSRIs. We don't ask them to get an answer, but if you are taking any of these types of medications, we can dramatically inhibit the effects of happy mind, because those things work by blocking. Again, I'm no scientist, it's above my pay grade, but these SSRIs are blocking this thing in your head that makes you absorb this product. And so it's keeping you, I know it's counterintuitive, but it seems to be keeping you from being happy. So yeah, that's
well, as a turn off your libido too, and your pleasure and your desire and your passion and everything. And as I said, we're not doctors and we're not telling you what to do. That being said, I do want to bring in a fact that a lot of people don't realize, that medical malpractice is the third leading cause of death in the United States, behind heart disease and cancer.
Damn.
And so I teach kink. This is one of the things I teach. And in the realms of kink and BDSM, there is a lot of consent and communication and boundary structures. And so one of the things that I do with my clients, a lot of my clients actually come to me are struggling with depression, anxiety. I have a lot of clients who come to me with bipolar or ADHD because they're imbalanced in the brain, right? And so one of the things that I've told them, because brain imbalances causes issues with libido and sex and intimacy. So that's just why I'm clarifying that. And one of the things that I help them with is infiltrating using the elements of kink with their doctors, of using communication, boundaries, consent. And one of the things, as a sexual and intimacy coach who really practices consent on a regular basis, I have noticed a lot of doctors don't actually practice consent in their practice. And I've had to put down some really solid boundaries with doctors. And so though we have to legally say, because we are on the radio and because we are putting things out on the internet, we don't want to get in trouble. I want to challenge you, if you're listening, to really question your doctor. And is the medication that you're on, what are the side effects of that, right? With SSRIs, there's massive amounts of side effects long-term. Is that the most effective thing for you right now for long-term health? And is there anything that you can do to support your nervous system while you're on SSRI so you can gradually get yourself off of it? And I always recommend, if you are going to get off of SSRIs or Adderall or anything like that, work with a functional medicine doctor, because a functional medicine doctor is going to support you in the mineral depletion and the nutrient depletion that maybe you're needing. That's potentially why your brain might feel out of balance and so forth. And I'm really an advocate about using your voice and asking for what you need and what you want. So I'm in that balance of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love the combination of the Eastern and Western medicine. And I think that I desire the future of medicine to involve a functional element. When I say functional medicine, I mean using advanced blood labs, but having herbs and dietary protocols and mindfulness protocols be the first thing before you get on some sort of chemical that has all these horrible side effects. And that's why I'm asking you, what are the side effects? Because we are so societally trained to have drugs that really do impact our health and have side effects.
The problem is, though, there aren't enough doctors trained in both methodologies. That's the issue is a person goes to med school and learns that Prozac is going to help with this. That's how they're trained. They don't know any better. They don't understand. We know beyond the shadow of a doubt that exercising, eating healthy, and getting sunlight has dramatic effects on our overall well-being. That's hands down the three most important things you can do in anyone's life. I don't care who you are. And
say it again. Exercise,
eating
water.
healthy, and getting sunlight.
It's water too.
I think water should go without saying. Definitely water. Drink lots of water.
People don't drink enough water.
Yeah.
They don't. And
For sure.
and what's kind of cool about that, talking about that, as I'm imagining Happy Mind supports you in drinking more water. I bet.
You do want to drink water while you're on it, for sure. That's a good point. But yeah, it's just the alcohol that tries to keep you away from it.
Yeah, it's interesting. When I say that, when I take mushrooms, I have a tendency to drink 10 times more water. So I'm imagining it's like the body is like, hey, we need water. Drink more water.
Yeah, absolutely.
A lot of people ask me like, oh, you look so young for your age. What do you do? I'm like, I drink a lot of water. It's that simple.
Yeah, when you said you were 36 a little while ago, I was like, oh my God. Yeah, I thought you were like 30. Yeah, I had no idea you were. That's amazing.
Biohacking is my
No, exactly.
I've been biohacking for a while. I have quite a roster of things. I want to say I'm an addict of health and bio. Like I'm a health addict and a personal development junkie. So, it's a lot healthier to do that than it is to drink alcohol. I don't drink alcohol. I think that's a huge part of it. Alcohol
for sure. Of course. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah. So there's lion's mane and turkey tail mushrooms in these. Yep. Why did you add those in? Do you know why you guys added those in along with the?
Yeah. The studies are pretty endless on those two primary mushrooms. I also make it's a totally different brand. I also make a functional mushroom gummy, and lion's mane and turkey tail and cordyceps and chaga. And I studied all of these and with my food scientist, and we were deciding which are the main ingredients that we want in these. And it seemed like lion's mane and turkey tail were the two clear winners from a cognitive enhancement standpoint. So that's what we added. You can only fit so much into a pill. You can't even fit as much as you want of regular dried up mushrooms in a pill. So we actually had to find a company that grew their mushrooms organically. This is a very difficult process. Find good growers. They're using, what do they call it? The fruit and not the stem. Fruit bodies. And then they're extracting it so that we can make it hyper dense. Not dense, but
bioavailable?
No, it's the extract is, I think it was like 1,000 to 1. So it's like if I put the equivalent to the amount of mushrooms that we want to put in there to make it effective, we had to use an extract, therefore make it hyper, just to be the equivalent of a whole lot of mushrooms into a little bitty pill, I guess is my
That makes sense. Yeah. Condense it down.
Yeah.
Okay. So I have a question. I love turkey tail because so one of the reasons I became an addict to health is because I lost my mom to breast cancer when I was 23. And so I was like, I don't want that to be my future. She was 59. She was young. And so one of the things I found out about turkey tail is I learned about it from Paul Stamets, who is the dude who's studying all the mushrooms. He's like the mushroom man. He has a mushroom. He's incredible. I saw him speak live at a festival, and he's in the Fantastic Fungi movie and so forth, which is a great movie you guys should watch. And you haven't heard of Paul Stamets? You look confused.
Not for the name. Yeah.
Okay. Anyways, he has crazy stories about turkey tail mushrooms and the impacts on breast cancer.
Oh, wow.
And he has the story about his mom, who was 84, and she was diagnosed with, I think, stage 4 metastasized breast cancer. And she didn't tell him about it. She was afraid to tell him. And the interesting thing is, when she found out, they were actually using turkey tail mushrooms in multiple studies to prevent breast cancer.
Oh, wow.
The doctor said that she was too old to do chemo and radiation and too advanced in her cancer. And so all he did was give her turkey tail mushrooms. And at the time of talking, it's been a minute now since I've heard that conversation, probably around 10 years. At that time, she was thriving and cancer free. And that the thing about it's such a hard thing with the FDA and the way that our government works. Legalities, you can't say it cures anything, right? That being said, I know that the studies and benefits of turkey tails that really boost the white blood cells. It's a complementary cancer therapy, which we can say it's a prebiotic, so it really supports the gut health, and it helps to reduce inflammation in the body. And so if there's inflammation reduction, but I've never heard of it being specifically good for the brain. Is it focusing on gut health, so the brain gut barrier? What is the specifics behind that?
Talk to my scientist.
Because I know
Just talk to our German scientist. His name is Reiner.
That's awesome. Gut health is really, really important along with blind thing. But I did find that a little interesting that you were using that one specifically. I love this. I love the conversation we've been having. It's been so fun to have you here. How has your life changed since Happy Mind came into it? Since you started taking these products?
Yeah. Back in my original creation was CBD products. I was manufacturing tinctures and soft gels and gummies and that kind of thing. And I worked with an autism doctor who started recommending CBD for her autistic patients. And we actually created a brand just for her patients and other autistic individuals. And that made me feel really freaking good seeing these reviews of these, whether it's the parents or the kids, after taking this high dose CBD tincture that they're feeding their kids. The reviews were great. And that was at the time when I shifted from marketing marijuana to marketing CBD products. And I went from making money off of getting people high to making money off of getting people well. And I love that. That was so good. And then I unfortunately lost that business due to some illegal activities from our accountant robbing us. But after I lost that, I lost those reviews and those heartwarming just stories. The other company that I created did not have anything to do with that. It was a distribution company. And I just started, all I was doing was buying other products and selling them. I didn't have any good reviews. I didn't have any people telling me stories or anything like that. I was just making money by moving one warehouse to another warehouse or a store or whatever. When I created this, all those reviews and those stories and all started coming back in just from different people. And so it just really makes me feel good that I am helping so many people off of this. Again, a lot of people just want to get high. That's great. Just go get high. Enjoy your concert. Enjoy your rave. It's going to be so much better than alcohol. Congratulations. But I freaking just love helping people. That's what this is all about to me. I give this product away free to veterans. It helps with PTSD. You can go to PubMed.org and just look at all these studies on psilocybin and PTSD. It's insane how many it helps these veterans like crazy. That's why I sponsor these events and give away free to them. And I love helping people. It makes me feel good. And I know I'm making the world a better place. So it's awesome.
I love that so much. And then I love that 100,000%. We have a few minutes we're going to wrap up, but how is taking and consuming product for you on a personal level impacted your life? Besides the nourishing soul part.
I don't drink hardly all anymore.
Okay, you used to drink?
Oh yeah. I used to drink all the time, like way too much. This is me and my friends, we rarely drink now. Rarely. It's even if we go out to meet with a whole bunch of other people that are all drinking, if they don't want Happy Mind, right, we don't care. We're going to take it. We're still going to laugh with you. We're going to laugh like we're all drunk. We're all going to feel the same. But the difference is at around 11, 12 o'clock, ours is going to fade away slowly. We're not even going to realize it, but we're just like, oh, we're not, quote, drunk anymore. And it's time to go home. And we're going to go to bed at a decent hour. We're going to wake up feeling great. We're going to know that every single decision we made that night was a good decision because we're completely with it the entire time. Unlike when you're drunk, like we make good decisions while you're on it. You make good decisions when it's off, and you make great decisions the next day because you don't even feel it anymore.
It's been such a pleasure to have you here on Sex Ritual Radio, on KXFM, Laguna Community Radio. Thank you so much, Josh, for sharing your story. And you have one thing you'd like to share?
Yes, I am going to create a coupon code. We're going to call it Rose. They're going to get this product for free. So they're going to get a microdosing 4-count for free for anyone that goes on the website and just checks out with the Microdose 4-count. We're going to get that for free. You got to pay for shipping. It's going to be like $4 or $5, whatever it costs to ship it to wherever it's going, anywhere in the US. But yeah, we're going to get away for free. I'm going to go create that coupon code right now. It will take me 2 minutes. By the time you hear this or see this somewhere, you're going to be able to get that for free. So yes, it's going to be great.
Thank you so much. It was such a blessing. Super grateful for you. Thank you, Josh. And for all of you out there, have a beautiful night. Remember, everything we shared is just our personal experience. We're not doctors, and we're not telling you what to do. We're totally, maybe I did tell you what to do when it comes to communicating with your doctor. Anyways, or stopping drinking alcohol. Maybe I did tell you what to do. Anyways, have a beautiful night. It's been such a pleasure. Thank you so much. We're here every single Sunday, 9 to 10 p.m. on Sex Ritual Radio on KXFM. I'll talk to you next week.
I'm going to be real with you. I am so over sex being a taboo topic that we talk about. I am ready for conscious sexuality, spiritual sexuality to be a conversation in the room. I have been in so many rooms full of people. I share that I'm a sex coach, and people get awkward and shrink and get small around me. And I am so ready for that to be done. And it starts with you. In order to make this conversation bigger, this podcast gets to grow. In 2026, I am committed to impacting 100,000 people's lives with this, and I need your help. So would you please subscribe, leave a comment, share it on your Instagram story, or text it to a friend. It would mean the world to me, and I will see you next week.